Discord just not fucking working today? Oh, does it need update? Oops. Whatever, I give up. Anyway. One of the things I'm gonna do in the future, it won't be now, and it won't be when I switch to back to Burning Crusade. But I am going to number my streams. So apparently people fucking watch my VODs. My thumb is absolutely killing me. I didn't even really do a whole lot at work today, but whatever.
Leveling in vanilla WoW.
One moment, I gotta make sure everything's on 144p here.
Leveling in vanilla WoW was very unique when compared to how we do things in the modern game.
You could say that.
See, leveling in vanilla WoW was the game. So
Yep.
you spent a long
Sure
time
fucking
doing
was.
it. And MMOs were just played differently back then. So as I progress through this video, you will notice a lot more differences than similarities to
Yep.
how questing is done today. First off, your character was weak, very weak for the first 1 to 10 levels. Rogues, for example, didn't start off with dual wielding, the iconic ability of a class who was all about attacking quickly with
really?
2 small weapons, could only run 1 weapon for the first 10 levels. Also, that 1
Damn.
weapon was a dagger. because you couldn't learn how to use other weapons until level 10.
Damn,
And
I didn't even
daggers,
know that.
Back then and even today, do
What
not
in
hit
the
very
fuck?
hard. They're meant to attack fast and quickly,
What in the
but not
fuck?
do a lot of high-end damage.
God
which
damn.
is fine if it wasn't for the fact that the main ability early rogues could use was Sinister Strike, an ability that wants the slowest, highest hitting weapon you have in your main hand. Hunters started off with no ranged attacks.
You know what I say when it comes to thumb pain, hand pain?
Had Raptor Strike.
I just need to drink
Raptor
more.
Strike
That's
was a
all.
melee ability that added bonus damage to your next melee attack, and wasn't very good. Also, Hunters started off with a weak one-handed weapon too.
Because you were fucking garbage. That's the thing, is you would build this up, and you started off in the game and you were shitty. You were fucking shitty. Everything about your character sucked dick. Like, everything about it was bad. Watch Ferris, do you want me to watch your video after this? Okay, hopefully I won't have to because the servers will be up, but the odds are I probably will. Yeah, it was a complete fucking terrible thing. And so it's very true. Okay, let's go.
But at least it was better than a dagger. Early Hunters could easily be mistaken as a melee class if you didn't know any better because of just how much melee damage you had to do.
Something going on
The
over there.
auto-shoot while moving wasn't added to the game until Cataclysm, so you had to stutter step auto-shoot kite every mob if you wanted to use your ranged weapon. Until you got your pet at level 10, of course. Now, let's look at the quests themselves for a bit. Lots and lots of quests where of the go collect this item from mobs that has a small chance to drop variety. This was to force players to have to kill a ton of mobs all the time for nearly half of the quests you did.
Okay.
That way, you'd get that sweet monster kill experience, which was crucial to leveling up in an efficient manner. Most vanilla quest
Well, about
guides
time
would
you
even tell
acknowledged
to
the fact
kill
that
as
I was
many
streaming.
mobs as you could, on your way to the next quest giver and on your way to quests. Gather quests all had really long cast times. If you got a rare
I'm waiting
quest
for
that
this mob to
wasn't telling
respawn.
you to go commit mass genocide on wolves to get 4 paws, you'd sometimes get lucky
Bella,
and have a nice and easy gather quest. Although these
I
weren't
know what
really
you
all that
want,
easy.
and
Most
she
of the
will
things
bring
you
it
had
to you.
collect
You
had
have to
moderately
wait.
long respawn timers. So if there were other players in the area, that made them take a lot longer to do. Most items were swarming
She
with
needs her
mobs
shit.
that had to be cleared out first. Most of them were very far apart from each other and forced you to
Careful
have
when you
hunt
come to
them down
open the
for a
door,
long
because she's,
This is very, very fun. I used to really enjoy this a whole lot.
What the
It's
hell
just
is hitting me?
Such a great game. Whenever you just have to
'Cause,
go from one mob to another mob, and the travel time between each of the mobs is like 30 seconds. The kill
She's,
time is 30 seconds, and the drop rate is 0.
right by the
It's
door.
just truly amazing and incredible.
time. And also,
I'm so
it would
confused.
take about 5 seconds on average to collect each one. Same with gathering herbs and mining, about 5-second cast times for each, with the chance of failing and having to do it again. Everything in Vanilla WoW had incredibly long cast times to collect, whereas today it's almost instant, if not collected in 2 seconds at the most. And for quests, that necessarily wasn't just about going out and killing or collecting stuff. You had to read them very carefully to make sure you understood what to do.
That's true.
I think I have tendonitis in my thumb.
That's whenever I really fucked up. Like, you guys ever read a quest, and it's like 4 paragraphs, and you read the first, third, and fourth paragraph,
But I don't care.
and it's like, okay, I go here, and then the second paragraph says, first go here? Like, I don't know how many times it's fucking happened. Except for in Vanilla WoW, whenever that happens, you don't waste like, oh shit, I've got to go use my 14th Dalaran Hearthstone, or take one of my 8 different portal items over to, you know, 4 of this other continents. So it'll take me
What
over
the
the area
fuck?
within
I'm
10
trying
seconds.
to...
No, you just wasted 35 fucking
Oh,
minutes.
it's you, you asshole.
You just wasted 35 fucking minutes just for that one goddamn motherfucking thing.
Information was kinda sparse back then, so you had to pay close attention to the quest text to understand what exactly you needed to do. Because obviously, there were no quest markers in the game.
Sick drop, though.
Items didn't glow if you needed them. Mobs didn't even tell you
They'll
if they
go
dropped
towards the
anything
mount
needed
fund.
for your quest
Nope.
either. Killing mobs was hard. your character was weak. Even after hitting level 10, mobs were powerful. On average, it might take you 20 to 30 seconds to kill
I already
one
listened to this video and it told me that I didn't.
non-elite level.
The impossible quiz. Now, I don't know about this. I want to say one thing. It might be impossible for casuals, but for me, that's going to be very, very easy.
In this video, we'll go over 20 hard true or false statements based around WoW. And unlike my normal quizzes, every single question in this one is going to be hard. Luckily, since all of them are true or false, you have a 50% chance to answer all of them correctly anyway, even if you don't know the actual answer.
No, because it's just 1 in 3 chance, because you could say true, false, or I don't know. So it's 3.
Sir. Mizrael is an earth elemental summoned in the circle of inner binding in the Arathi Highlands.
Yeah.
It is also found roaming a small area in Deepholm.
No, not in Deepholm. As far as I don't think it's in Deepholm, is it? Yeah, no.
Fact. Mizrael, sorry for totally butchering her name,
but where's
part of a pretty famous hidden quest in Vanilla
okay.
WoW called The Princess Unleashed, where she would trick players into freeing her in the Arathi Highlands. And then she later on makes a cameo in Deepholm during Cataclysm.
Fuck? Really?
There were 3 classes, which made up a vast majority of raid spots in the world first Spine of Deathwing kill. A kill infamous for requiring class stacking of 3 specific classes in a somewhat modern raid. Now, here's the question. The 3 classes which took up the vast majority of raid spots in the world first Spine of Deathwing kill were Shamans,
Mages.
Rogues, and Mages.
Arcane mages.
Mages.
They were insane. Yes, true. This is a big true.
Oh, it's true and false. Okay, so true.
Okay, we need 2 more people, by the way. This is a big
Fact.
true. There it is, right there.
Was a
All right, we're
unique
1
raid
for 1.
boss which valued burst damage above all else.
Yep.
It also had a really nasty healing debuff that
insane.
made it very hard to live long enough to do that burst. Shamans could completely nullify the healing debuff mechanic with their Spirit Link totem.
Yep.
So they just brought all Shamans as their healers. Sub-rogues and mages had really good burst and survivability thanks to cheap death-like passives.
Honest.
Plus, both of these classes had access to legendary weapons, which made these 3 classes the best classes to bring. The last alchemy lab added to the game was in Wrath of the Lich King, and is located in the Ebon Hold.
No, because they removed alchemy labs in at the end of BC. You didn't need to have an alchemy lab in Wrath of the Lich King. That's a false.
Crap. They removed alchemy lab requirement from FLAS in patch 3.08.
There it is.
Or one of the first patches of Wrath.
Yep.
So there was no need for them to add any more to the game after that. But since the last one added to the game was located in the Ebon Hold, and they moved the Ebon Hold to the Broken Shore in Legion, the alchemy lab came with it.
Okay.
Which means a new alchemy lab was technically added to the game in Legion, as the one in the Broken Shore Ebon Hold can be used as an alchemy lab for the few crafts in the game that still require an alchemy lab. I also have a video on the channel all about alchemy labs if you want more details.
I don't know about that one, dude.
When a warlock summons their dread steed, it comes from the planet of Argus.
Nope, Zoroth. Nope, wrong.
He just fucking knows.
Easy one. Easy.
Didn't even have to think about
We
it.
still need 2 more people for Mythic.
Crap. A warlock's dread steed actually comes from the planet of Zoroth.
There it is, dude.
Cloudtop Terrence is a platform in Uldum near the entrance to the Throne of Four Winds.
True. 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 It's for a quest line.
Fact. That is indeed the name of the platform near the entrance to the Throne of Four Winds. Alright, let's split this quiz up a little bit. The next 5 questions will be about the gameplay only. And if you get these next 5 questions correct, you'll get 1 bonus point. In Vanilla WoW, there was only 2 pieces of equipment that had negative stats on them. One of them was very famously known...
Nope, it's because the necklace from ZF.
as the Corrupted Ashbringer, and the other was the Cloak of Rot.
Nope, wrong. That's a wrong. That's a wrong right there.
I've seen the Cloak of Rot,
That's
so
a
I'm
wrong.
gonna have to say crap.
That's a not true.
Crap.
Told
There
you.
were many items with negative stats on them.
Yep.
In fact, I have a whole video about them on this channel.
I've seen
Safe
one of
to
them.
say there was easily over 10 of them, but I think less than 20. Killing a black cat critter in a major city will give you a
No.
bad luck debuff.
No.
No.
I mean, that sounds like something they would have in
Fucking
there, but no.
Fact. Killing a black cat
What?
critter in a major city will give you the bad luck debuff, though these critters only spawn during the Hollow's End holiday event. Speaking of the Hollow's End, the first ever holiday mount added to the game was the Headless Horseman mount.
Huh? What are you pausing for?
I'm thinking. Can I not pause?
No, you get a
Okay.
little timer.
Okay, fine. All right. False.
See you soon.
I think the Brewfest one was in the game, right?
Crap. It was actually the Brewfest Ram. The Horseman was the first mount that dropped from a holiday boss in the game, but not the first holiday
this
mount
is
added.
just great.
The non-combat pet, known
Wow.
as the Westfall Chicken, was the only non-combat pet that was unavailable to Horde players in Vanilla WoW, which means they just could not get one.
Wasn't that through the chicken quest? That's false, isn't it?
I think that's false too.
Crap. They couldn't complete the quest for it, but they still could obtain one through other methods.
Yeah.
In BFA, Ragefire Chasm, Wailing Caverns, and the Dead Mines are the 3 dungeons available to players through the Dungeon Finder as soon as they hit level 15.
No.
I think this is true. I'm not 100% sure.
I
but
don't know. It's
think
BFA.
true.
I plead the fifth.
Wailing Caverns could be slightly higher level.
Crap. Wailing Caverns isn't available until level 17.
Ah,
The
fuck,
only 2
dude, I
available
knew
at
it.
15 are the Ragefire Chasm and the Dead Mines.
See, I knew it, dude.
So if
I
you got
knew
those
it.
5 questions correct, go ahead and give yourself 1 bonus point.
Shit.
Now, let's go on to
Okay,
some
alright, next.
lower questions. The next 5 questions will
I know
all
where
be
King
lore-related.
Bangladesh
And if you
is.
get all 5 of these correct, you can
It's
get
over
1
here.
additional bonus point.
Lore! Pog!
The name of the only 2 mortals to ever injure Sargeras were Broxigar the Red and Toronar the Indomitable.
I don't know who the fuck Tornar is. I have no fucking idea. I think that's false, but I mean, like, I don't even know. I'm gonna
Fact.
assume that's
While Broxigar is somewhat famous for his feat,
okay.
Toronar isn't anywhere near as well known, considering his entire
Fuck.
race and planet were wiped out after he injured Sargeras. His weapons are the artifact weapons used by Vengeance Demon Hunters, so if you
What?
play the Demon Hunter in Legion, you should
What?
know this story. In one of the Warcraft books, it
Holy
was
shit.
confirmed that Thrall and Jaina once dated for a...
There's a lot of hold on, what? Thrall and Jaina once dated?
False, I think. I'm pretty sure that's not true.
Pretty sure that's not true too.
Crap.
Fuck.
They
was
did
gonna
not.
say.
I'm sure there's tons of fan fiction about this happening.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
definitely
okay, alright,
alluded
alright.
to the fan fiction in the latest
she
cinematic
got
between
orphed,
Thrall and
yeah.
Jaina, but they were just good friends and nothing more.
Yeah,
The
sure.
5 dragon aspects all had a power associated to them. These 5 powers were magic, time, nature, fire, and
I
earth.
thought instead of
I
nature,
saw a
it's light.
friendly just before he died,
It
so
was
I
like
thought
the-
it was
yeah,
a
what
friendly
light?
fighting
No,
the
it's
raptors.
false. That's a false.
Crap. Fire
knew it,
isn't
dude.
one of them. The missing one was
Light.
life.
Yep.
Alexstrasza was the
Yep.
aspect of life,
The
not
life
fire.
finder.
All of the dragons can breathe fire.
Easy.
The dragon
Easy,
aspect
easy,
powers
easy.
don't really follow conventional fantasy tropes when it comes to the 5 elements. It's just kind of 5 random things. It could also be argued that nature isn't one of them, and instead Ysera was in charge of the dream, but technically she was in charge of nature.
Okay.
The following 3 are the names of the leaders of Argus: Velen, Kil'jaeden, and Archimonde.
True.
Yeah.
That's a
Yep.
true.
Yep.
That's a true right there.
I'm pretty
That's a
sure I read that in that
100% true.
book.
That's an easy true. Not even a hard true. That's an easy true.
Fact: Velen ran away
See,
though,
we watched the
but
cinematic.
before he ran away, he was one of the 3 leaders.
Yep.
And then
Mhm.
after the Legion showed up, there wasn't really leaders of Argus anymore.
Yeah,
and
because they
more
were all
of
dead.
lieutenants in the Burning Legion. There was 6 people present at the purification of the core crystal, which makes up the Ashbringer, an event that was shown in-game in the Old Hillsbrad foothills. The names of these 6 people are Mograine, Tyrion, Ecelion, Abendis, Doan, and Fairbanks.
Wait, Abendis was there? I think that's false. Yeah, I think that's false.
Fact: that was indeed all of them. Half of them ended up as members of the Scarlet Crusade.
Okay. Okay.
You
Okay.
suck.
Shut up. Okay. The guy is in the. No, listen, because all right. Imagine this. Imagine because there's a guy. He's on the 2nd story. Okay. So he'd be like this. Because you know he's curious about what the fuck's going on down there. So he'd be on the 2nd story. He'd be like this.
He's chasing me. Fuck.
Okay, if that's the case, then you can just go check right now.
No, I'm
Go to
in
the
the
couch.
raid. He'd be
to the
listening,
couch.
because I'd be listening to him. Be like, what's that? What's about that sword? Oh wow. What's that rock? Oh boy. You know, and that'd be it. No, I'm serious, man. Like there had to be
Yeah,
something else.
I think I lost him.
But fuck.
And were bosses in some of their dungeons. Alright, and if you got all 5 of those questions correct, go ahead and give yourself 1 bonus point.
Okay.
And now, on to the last 5 questions.
True deep.
No bonus points for these, just try your best to get them all right. Including allied races, the only race in the game which cannot be a hunter are the gnomes.
I think gnomes can be hunters.
Are
Can't
you
gnome-
sure?
I don't know about the current game. I'm not even gonna ask
Yeah,
or guess.
Yeah, I think gnomes can be hunters.
Crap. They added the ability for gnomes to be hunters in Legion,
Yeah.
making hunter and warrior
See.
the
The only
only
class
2
everybody can
classes
be.
available to every single race.
Yeah. Okay, so I was right.
Agrelon,
Every
is the name of the
race can
orc
be a
shaman
hunter
who is
now?
married to Thrall.
No, it's aggro or some kind of bullshit, dude. That's a false.
That's fucking
that's
stupid.
100% false. Okay.
Fact. Her name is usually pronounced as Agra though, in-game and in text. But her full name is Agrelon. Players can control
I can't
3
catch a break,
siege
man.
vehicles
I
in the
just need to
Battle
get
for
some
Winterfell.
mana. I don't want to use
These
my
vehicles are
thing.
catapults, siege engine,
I'm gonna have to.
And-
No, you
glaive
can't throw. You
thrower.
can't do glaive throwers. There's no glaive throwers in Winter Grasp. That's a false. That's a falser. That's a falser right there. That's 100% falser.
crap. Glaive
Yep.
throwers are not in the Battle for Winterfell,
right.
and instead, the 3rd siege vehicle is the Demolisher.
That's right.
Before Lord Jaraxxus was a demon lord, he was the office manager for a conservatory on Argus.
There he is.
That's actually true. It is true. You find that in one of the quest lines in Argus.
Fact, he was known as the Grand Vizier Jarazim.
Yep.
And managed the day-to-day operations in the
I'm
conservatory.
gonna switch
the
videos.
regional
Before the
manager.
Legion came to his planet, that is. The maximum number of players allowed in a scenario is... In this video, we'll go over 10 items which are hidden in the world in some way, shape, or form, and either require you to do special thing to obtain them, or just require you to find them in a somewhat hidden location. And at number 10, we have the Doomsayer's Robes. This is a toy item that allows you to don Doomsayer robes and have a little plaque on your chest and back, which probably spouts some
I didn't even know you could get
Doomsday-related
this.
writing. And the way to get these
I had
robes
no idea
was
you could get
discovered
this.
in Legion in a way that
Yeah,
wasn't.
no thank you. Give me some vanilla videos.
I'm a warrior. I stand right in front of the boss.
About 7 things that private servers had wrong, or things that will change with the release of Classic WoW. I'm aware that other YouTubers have already covered this topic, but a lot of those videos are quite old, and lots of new information has actually emerged since the Classic Beta. So I think this topic is pretty interesting to cover again. These differences have varying levels of effects on the actual vanilla experience, so let's go over the most major changes that you'll be seeing in the official launch of the game. The first one is pretty big. Now, if you guys don't already know, threat is very delicate in vanilla, and the speed at which your raid is able to move through the dungeon is generally based on how much threat your main tank is able to pull. The more threat from your main tank, the more DPS can push, thus increasing efficiency. So the big change that's going to affect this is the increased parry rating from bosses. There was a blue post a while back stating that boss level mobs actually have a 14% chance to parry incoming strikes. This is actually a huge factor.
I wish I'd have fucking known that. I was literally the dumbest. I've told this story like 50 times. I never would attack.
I just have to hit him with this and he's dead.
I look right in their fucking face and I hit him. I take him on face to face. I look right at him and I start hitting him. Like, I don't go behind him like a little bitch. That's for rogues. I'm a warrior. I stand right in front of the boss. And this is like a thing that I would make a point to do. I was a fucking idiot. But I would do this all the time. And I was wondering, like, man, why I never do that much DPS? Why I not do that much damage, dude? Keeps parrying my shit, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Expertise.
I was a fucking
vanilla,
idiot.
So there's no real way to bypass this at all, like in the Burning Crusade.
Yeah, I was alpha.
On private servers, parry chance from raid bosses has generally been below 10%. From what I understand from my research, near 4 to 6%. This means your tank will be experiencing many more parries than you might be used to, reducing his threat output by a decent chunk. This will be a relatively significant change for speed clearing guilds coming from the private server community, but it's not the end of the world. People will still be able to blast through raids despite this fact, but it's still a big difference.
Not even right.
This one is probably one of the more significant changes on this list because it literally opens up a new avenue of viable speed leveling tactic that was pretty much not a thing in the private server world.
Talking about dungeon grinding.
The big change is based on the new revelation of dungeon group farming that we've seen come to the forefront of the community. So groups of buddies leveling from pretty much level 15 to level 60 through just spamming dungeons back to back. The reason why this is all of a sudden a big focus from the vanilla community when it basically was non-existent in the private server scene is because of the revelation in respect to dungeon elite experience gain that we've seen from the classic beta.
Slow Kill, thank you very much for the 10 gifted community subs. I appreciate that very much, man. Thank you, Slow Kill. So this has been a very, very contentious thing in the classic WoW subreddit. They're like, oh, I have conclusive proof that the random mobs in Shadowfang Keep are doing slightly less damage than they are supposed to, because if you look on private servers, they're hitting for 160, and you look on here, they're only hitting for 140. And, you know, they're very, very upset about this. Blizzard came back and they reevaluated everything and they tested it all themselves. And it turned out that the values that people were... basically, it came back that Classic WoW wasn't as hard as people thought that it was. That's what it came back as. It wasn't as hard as people thought it was. Dungeon grinding, I hope, is not the meta. I think dungeon grinding is boring, and I hope they don't make this the meta of the game. Yes, I know that. Who would have thought? I know.
Oh, I'm out of beer,
to
so.
Their ego, right? Because these are people that have spent
Since
the
you're
last
watching.
10 years.
And can you crack the window when you come in here too, please?
Just
Just crack it slightly.
So obviously, whenever they see that, you know, whenever this is exposed to the public, that everybody can do the same thing that they can, this is going to hurt their ego.
So a normal elite mob will generally give about 2 times normal experience. So if you have a level 25 normal mob, it gives you, let's say, 50 experience, just for sake of conversation. A 25 elite will give you 100, so 2 times. What we've learned is that dungeon elites actually give you 2.5 the base experience. So that level 25 elite, if it was a dungeon mob, would now give you 125 experience. I found some old wiki.
Alright, I gotta be ready for him to summon his shit.
It really surprises me that certain private servers have seemingly got this one wrong, or maybe some servers actually had it scaled properly and the player base just never really took advantage of it.
I need a beer and I need you to crack the window.
We've seen some
that
really
much.
fast leveling pushes in the classic WoW beta. I think some people were getting to level 40 in a group in just above 2 days /play, which is a really solid leveling time. Of course, I mean, it's probably going to slow down from level
Alright. Oh, I need the drink again. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave with Pyro and then hit Frostbolt. Or no, I'm going to hit Pyro, Berserking, and then Frostbolt. That was a waste of time. Bitch. Go ahead, kill me. It won't bring you back your pappy. Go ahead. Let the hate flow through you. I could take rest sickness right now and I could just fucking high step my way to the quest giver.
This first. Nope. No.
See, you brought the chicken strip in here to begin with. That's where you fucked up. I'm not gonna take rest sickness. Because then I can't do anything for like 10, 15 minutes, so.
Yay, Mad season!
Woo!
Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another video for you.
I don't know why everybody was so hyped about Classic. It's like I play it all the time. It's like, what's the fuck?
Everyone is scrambling to figure out what they want to do.
Yep.
What class will I play? What
Warrior.
server? What server type? How many
PvP.
diapers do I need to buy? In
Slightly.
this video, I wanted to make a guide of sorts and build a checklist on
Too
how
much.
to prepare for the launch of Classic
I'm just
World of
fucking with you.
Warcraft, and also just give you some tips in general. So let's get the obvious stuff out of the way first. starting with the
half that.
class. While I won't go into
I'm
each
serious.
class one by one, the main thing I'll say is that the classes in Classic are very niche.
Good.
It's not like the current game, where if you have a tank spec, you're just as capable as
Thank you.
tanking as everyone else. For example, paladins, druids, and even shamans are capable of tanking, but
I love how shamans can tank in vanilla WoW. I think they should make that in the game nowadays. See, look at this right here. This is the actual tank. This is, you know, the shamans had enough time. Paladins had his little fun. Druid off-tanked one mob. Feels like he's a god. Now this big dick motherfucker comes in, shows him how it's done.
warriors are seen as, quote, the best tanks in Classic, and as a result, most serious raiding guilds will focus their recruiting on warriors.
You're goddamn right.
For healers, priests are seen
goddamn
as
right.
the quote best, and as for DPS, Retribution Paladins will have trouble keeping up. It's the early days of MMOs where all of this stuff is still being worked out. For healers, priests are seen as the quote best, and as for DPS, Retribution Paladins will have trouble keeping up. And as for DPS, Retribution Paladins will have trouble
Fuck
keeping
this
up.
video. Turn it
It's
off.
the early days of MMOs
No, turn it off,
and as
man.
for
Turn it off.
DPS, Retribution
What do you mean?
Paladins will have trouble keeping up.
Hey,
Turn
It's
it
the early
off.
days of
Yes,
MMOs
turn
it off.
where all of this stuff is still
Look, dude. I mean, you can still heal, man. Like, you can heal?
I don't want to heal. I don't want to. I want to do damage. I do big dick damage in retail right now. I do more DPS than most people. I want to do big dick damage on Classic too. I should have the right.
Okay.
I should have the right to do big dick DPS in Classic. I should have that right.
That's true. I mean, you pay your $15 a month, and they should allow you to do as much damage as possible. And if they don't do that, they're basically stealing your money. Like that's actually a very good point. I agree with that.
being worked out.
Thank
There
you.
really wasn't a standard, so
Okay.
as a result, the balance is questionable in a lot of places. I
Okay.
am a believer that this time around, due to our increased knowledge and skill, things will be a bit easier, and
Yeah, I would
therefore
say so.
guilds will be more lax.
Everybody would say so.
I mean, people 5-manned Onyxia back in 2005,
Yep.
and that was pre-AQ40, so I'm pretty sure you can afford to have a Retribution Paladin or two in the raid.
Yeah.
But still, in
I
regards
guess
to
so.
raiding, class balance, or the lack thereof, is definitely something to consider.
Okay.
You can still find a guild that has a DPS druid. It's just going to be harder than
Just
say,
a bad
compared
guild.
to a combat rogue. So you got to stay realistic as well. As you can see here,
Okay.
I've listed each class and their viability as I remember it. This is a super fast and loose description, and it really doesn't do the classes justice. In my opinion, one of the cool things with Classic is that these classes bring more than just raw DPS, heals, or mitigation to the table. They have their own and completely unique tools and buffs that still makes them valuable to any raiding guild. For example, druids bring Innervate, which is crucial, and also they're the only ones who have battle res back then.
I think
So
that's a
pretty
good
much
point.
every class has
Each class is niche. That's one thing that Classic WoW has that BFA doesn't really have. It feels like every class kind of brings everything. The only real things, like what classes really bring something special. You have priests that bring mass dispel. You have mistweavers that do revival. I think revival, it's like a raid-wide dispel. Warlocks obviously have summoning, and they also have the gate. Rogues have shroud of concealment. Death Grip is borderline. There are very few classes. Enhancement Shaman has totems. Yeah, nobody gives a shit about Enhancement Shamans, man. Sorry to say. But yeah, that's one of the things I really liked about Classic. Go ahead.
Even Blizzard.
They're the last people that care about them. It's sad to say. Go ahead.
Feel so bad for him, man. Dude, Enhancement Shaman used to be like the most exciting.
I'm just gonna get a
thing.
group together and I'm gonna clear out my quest
Yeah,
list.
you're right.
I've decided.
Then I don't know what happened, but it's gone. Enjoying it as well. Thank you very much.
unique aspect to them. If you'd like a more
It'll be a good
in-depth
way to
review,
test the
and
bots,
you have
too,
an
to see
hour
if they're worth a
spare,
fuck.
I do have a full class picky guide for you in the description. It's a tough choice for sure, and with how long it takes to level and the level boosts, it's a super important decision as well.
Okay.
And the next question is always what race to choose.
Thank you,
Similar
Twilight.
story going on here with classes. Again, this is the age before hyper balance.
Yep.
Certain races will 100% have an edge over other races, whether it be for PvE or PvP. And
That's right. This is before hyperbalance, and now after hyperbalance. This is after hyperbalance here.
When it's redneck, it means that
That's after hyperbalance. We've actually gone down in classes. Now there's actually even now less classes. Where is it? Wait, which one is it? Oh, there it is.
it's another important thing to consider. My go-to example is always weapon specialization.
Yep.
Humans get increased skill to maces and swords.
More threat.
Back when you actually had weapon skill, and this reduced your glancing blow penalty.
I
which
never
were
get
basically
glancing
weaker
blows.
attacks that
It doesn't
resulted from
exist.
hitting enemies that were a higher level than you. It's super important for raiding. and
I
it's one of
almost
the
have
most
enough
important
for
stats
fucking
in the
Mao.
game, in fact. As a result, human rogues and warriors have an edge
Almost.
in terms of damage compared.
Oh man, I just a minute. I need to take a piss. I just want to look at that guy. That's gonna be me right there. Okay.
Let me get my guildies together here. I'm gonna go hard.
Let me see here. You guys, my wife came in to tell me she got tickets for our trip to our honeymoon. Turns out it was the 28th of August. I told that bitch to go by herself. Now she's not talking to me. Help. Alright. Better solution. Get her into the game. I got my mom addicted to WoW. Instead of telling me to go to bed before my raid, she'd tell me to join my raid. There it is. That's all it takes.
to other races.
Get her into the game.
And on the PvP side of things, orcs get that passive 25% resistance to stuns, which during Classic is huge in PvP. Things were much more bursty back then, and you could really die in a single stun.
That's
so
true.
this is one of the best racials in the game for PvP. In the description, I'll have a link to every single race and their benefits. And again, if you want a more in-depth coverage, I do have dedicated videos for both the Horde and Alliance, also in the description. And the next choice is the server, which can also be pretty tough. Well, first you have PvE versus PvP, which if you started after BFA will be new to you. It's pretty self-explanatory though.
Okay.
On PvE servers, you have to manually flag to engage in PvP with other players in most zones. And for PvP, everyone can attack each other at all times, with the exception of the starting zones. Due to the absence
hold on
of
here, what?
LvL and Alliance, also in the description. And the next choice is the server, which can also be pretty tough. Well, first you have PvE versus PvP, which if you started after BFA will be new to you. It's pretty self-explanatory though.
Okay.
On PvE servers,
Hold on here. Probably in the settings. I guess not. That doesn't really tell me anything.
You have to manually flag to engage in PvP with other players in most zones. And for PvP, everyone can attack each other at all times, with the exception of the starting zones. Due to the absence of flying in the game, the world PvP scene as a whole is much more active. You will run into skirmishes when trying to complete quests, or farming a high-level spot, or just traveling to a dungeon or raid. The Stranglethorn Vale zone in particular was always a bloodbath, and the Blackrock Mountain will be the stage for many PvP skirmishes.
This is a good time.
What you prefer is entirely up to your playstyle. Some love it, and some hate it, and just know that with no war mode, it's harder to avoid. Really, it's impossible if you take into consideration no flying, and not just that, but also...
I do feel like, yeah, whenever you didn't have flying, you'd just be riding around and you just fucking see somebody, man. Asking hasn't even played vanilla. What do you mean? I started playing in vanilla. I got 60 in vanilla. What do you mean? Like this whole thing, like, I never thought flying was like really like bad for world PvP, but I do think that like, I just think it was and it wasn't. Like, I guess like flying was kind of, it did lower the amount of world PvP that would happen, but I think flying's like an overall net positive to the game. I guess that's kind of the way that I would look at it. I just wish that they had flying in like a better way than they do now. Show pictures of you playing vanilla? Really? Like, you actually want a picture of me playing vanilla? Okay.
So we got a battle of tech titans, the richest man going after the richest company, Elon Musk and Apple. It's a good one.
Let me see if I can find one. There's one right there. You know who Hanky Panky right there is?
Wait, what? Hold on.
So we got a battle of tech titans, the richest man going after the richest company, Elon Musk and Apple. It's a good one, too. Tweeting, Apple has mostly stopped advertising on Twitter. Do they hate free speech in America? What's going on here? Where does it go? Vivek Ramaswamy, founder of Strive Asset Management, author of Nation of Victims, with me now. Vivek, good morning to you. We were looking for a response from Apple. Haven't seen it yet. If it's out there, we'll try and get it and pass it to our viewers. What's Musk going for here, and where does it go?
Look, I think he's calling out the hypocrisy of a company whose slogan was once quite literally, think different. Now the company will punish you.
Anyway.
That's Mick Larivi.
Men are talking over here.
He was up at his grandma's house on his HP computer, and I was down at my mom's house on my HP computer. And we cleared dead mines together by ourselves, 2-man. It was fucking beautiful. Beast Slayer enchant? Yeah, there it is. Right
you know,
there.
you want to know something funny? I have this drawer right here. I don't put anything in it.
That's Zach right there on his mage.
Let's put something in the drawer. What should we put in the drawer?
I don't know when this was. I think this was actually during BC, but it was a little bit afterwards. There's one right there.
What to put in the drawer?
Cameron eating my hot fries. Cody.
There's a lot of trash down here.
With my old video camera. This was in 2006. Yeah, we were fucking.
There's a Sony Vita, PS Vita right there.
Age 16, playing WoW.
There's some Oculus controllers.
Because it was the first time my room was ever clean.
There's a PS4 controller. There's a beer.
You know, hey.
I got nothing to put in the drawer.
If I have any other ones. Scrolling all the way down. I don't know where all the rest of these are, but that's basically it. Okay. So there, so I said you started with Wrath the Lich King? No, I never lied. When did I say? Actually, I want to know what this like. Black Mamba 86.
He has footage of himself in BC.
In Wrath of the Lich King.
What the fuck?
I'm really kind of confused about this because I don't remember ever saying that. Like, when did I ever say? When did I ever say that I started in Wrath of the Lich King? Like, what are you talking about? I'm just confused here. Okay, well, we'll see if he has anything to say. Maybe he didn't mean it. It's just a troll. I don't know. Hopefully. Well, now he'll probably say that, but, you know, everybody knows what's going on here. Fox Slayer, thank you very much for the gifted sub.
I'm going to go in there.
Thank you, thank you.
One day.
Show achievements. Listen, dude, I've got everything.
I don't know what's in there, but I'm going to go in there. And
show
I'm
us
level
your
60.
magic
I'm going in there.
I've got my magic cards right over here, dude. Oh, shit. There it is. I've showed people this.
I've never, ever been in there.
Stream.
Never
I
had a
stopped
reason to
after
be.
A little bit after Ravnica. But, yeah, here's my cards right here. This is my rare binder. Like, I have a bunch of other binders for other cards, but this is only rares. So only rare cards right here. There it is.
You could just print them. Nobody cares about
back
cards,
then,
bro.
Because, you know, I had to, like, go to my parents' house, or go to my dad's house because my parents were divorced, and I could never really...
You can either spend $150 on 3 cards, or you can spend $150 on a really good laser printer. I'm not condoning anything, but just saying.
We meet raid times, unfortunately.
Stuff like cross-realm grouping. The game as a whole today has many workarounds in avoiding PvP, whereas in Classic, your decision is made when you hit the character creation button.
Yep.
Another thing to take into consideration are streamers, which is also a point of contention.
Hey.
Streamers are of course a new thing that
I'm gonna
didn't
ruin
exist
this
in the original
game.
run, and they're problematic to
I'm gonna
some,
ruin the whole
a
game.
benefit to others, and to some insignificant. Again, it's another preference sort of thing, and every streamer has
There
a
it
different
is,
community.
dude.
Some will have a negative impact on the game, and others a positive one. For example, a negative that some people see are the rabid communities that follow them.
That's you
and
guys.
Positive aspect are some of the events that they put on, such as the dueling tournaments.
Hey, how about
Personally,
that?
these days, I'm more in favor
How
of
about
streamers
that?
because I like the events, but I'm also a streamer myself, so I
Okay.
guess not the most objective person to ask.
Big true.
There do exist videos on some of the reasons
At season
why people
streams?
avoid
What?
streamer
Hold on.
servers, which you may find handy. I think this
Yep.
one by Classic Wins covers most of it pretty well, and you can
Made
find
sense.
that in the description. There also exists a website called avoidstreamers.com that you may also find handy. Here you can find a full list of all of the bigger streamers and what impact.
Why is Forzen very high? Why is Lyric very high?
Friend.
Like, Mizkip is high? Oh my god. Very, very high.
that they have on
Dude,
the game.
I love
so
having
do what you
Word
will
of
with all of that.
Glory, chat. I love having Word of
So
Glory.
you got your race, your class, and server picked.
Yep.
Now what? Well, now you need a name, of course.
X
And if you're
Killa.
like me, this is something you can
Esfon's
spend
such a
hours on
nice
in the
guy.
character creation screen. So it's best to think of that now.
Totally,
Start
such a
making
nice
a
guy.
list of your top names in order, so you can get in there right away when the game.
Like
launches.
right then and there, I had this
Yep.
urge to say, why is this fat fuck got
But you can resume the
15.5k
game 2
views?
weeks
But
prior
I'm
to
just
the
thinking,
launch.
and I immediately
Do note, though, that you
corrected
have to be
myself and
subscribed,
said, you know
which
what?
may
It's
or may
because
not
he's
be worth
such
it
a
to you.
nice guy. Only nice
Well,
guys
just
get
get that little bit of extra money out of you.
15.5k,
Though, there do
regardless
exist
of
many
how
websites out there
morbidly
that
obese they
emulate the
are.
character creation options for Classic.
Yep.
A popular one is Wowhead. So that might be something that you want to mess with before release, especially if you want
I'm
to
gonna
pick
make
a
my guy
popular
the
name
exact same as he
if you're
used to
waiting
be.
that first day for those name reservations.
He's gonna be
I'll
the
have that
exact
linked in the
same.
description.
An
And
AFK
another
bot?
tough
What the
decision
fuck?
will be your professions.
Yep.
It's pretty advantageous, I feel, to level your professions as you're
I
leveling
just
your
had
character
two
in
of
the
my.
game,
I'm not gonna
especially
do
if
that.
you're gathering, so you should start thinking.
I never did that. I just would level all the
Am
way
I
to
just
60.
waiting on
I
my
never
peeps
cared
to get
about
here?
Professions at all. I could buy the stuff later on. All I cared about was leveling. That's all. That's all the way I've always been.
About
He
that
should be
now.
taking
For
the
launch
the
of the
blimp.
game,
Yeah,
I
he
really
took the
like
blimp.
skinning because it's quick.
He's over here. He's
easy,
gonna make his
and
way
provides
over
a
here.
generous amount of silver from just
He's
venturing,
flying,
which will be
probably to
crucial if you're
Orgrimmar,
scaling.
and then
It's
he's
really good for
gonna.
When
making
things
money.
first kick off, the economy will be growing still, and you'll make the majority of your gold from these vendors rather
Yep.
than the auction house. People can't spend any gold if they don't have it yet, so I'll be grabbing skinning myself and get some extra money until level 60, and then switch to my normal profession. And also, make sure that you don't neglect your secondary professions that everyone can train, and that's cooking, fishing, and first aid.
You ever
As
just
for
smell
what
your own
professions,
earwax?
though, it's another
Wax?
tough decision. Just like with the races and classes, the
Gotta make sure
professions are
you're-
much more substantial in the
You're
game.
healthy.
One in particular.
Make sure
that
your
will give you a
earwax
tremendous
smells-
edge over the others
Engineering is the only
engineering.
profession that
It
matters.
has
Oh.
a variety of bombs and gadgets.
It's
that
the
are
only
super
one that
useful
matters,
for both
period.
PvE and PvP, and it's seen as the
So what the
best
fuck? So
because
he's
of that.
walking there?
Yes, it is.
The other
It
ones,
is
for
the
the
best.
most part, don't really have an effect
Whatever.
on combat.
Nope.
They're just preference
Not
and
really.
synergy. For example, Herbalism synergizes pretty well with Rogues because they can gather Fade Leaf, which is needed for their Blinding Powder, and Swift Thistle, which they need for their Thistle Tea. You'll save a lot of gold if you're an Herbalist Rogue.
Yeah.
Again, I did also cover this very thoroughly. Not to just turn this video into a plug for my other videos, but it's such a...
You go blacksmithing, engineering if you're a warrior, period. Anybody that does anything different's an idiot. You can go enchanting, though, because that way you can disenchant gear that you farm. Anything besides that, engineering and blacksmithing, or engineering and enchanting, that's it. If you...
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Osmogold's ultimate fast food tier list. It's 1 hour long.
Fucking hamburger. Too many people mad. Let's get this done. Alright, this is going to be really, really easy for me, okay? So let's start with Arby's. The last time I tried to get an Arby's, I tried to go to Arby's.
Hold on, I got this on low res. So I got personal favorite, S, A, B, C, D, F. I don't think you should have a personal favorite because that indicates bias.
I got in a car wreck. The time before that,
okay, I'm not even gonna talk about this video if there's a personal favorite. Soda tier list, don't care. Every single race and class spec.
an A. I think Blood Elves are an A. For classes, do the alright, me in the way that I believe Death Knights should are one of the... For classes, do the alright, you guys really want me to do the class tier list. Alright, I will do the class tier list. Blood Death Knights.
He's making his way downtown, walking fast.
I think Blood Death Knights are one of the coolest specs in the entire...
Is he flying? Yeah, he's flying.
I love Blood.
I hope he's flying, because if not, he's about to walk right through the Western Plaguelands.
They are 100% an S tier. Now, Frost Death Knights. I actually don't like Frost Death Knights. I think Frost Death Knights are boring, and I think that they are not... They don't fulfill the Death Knight fantasy for me in the way that I believe Death Knights should be. And the way I look at it is that, like, Death Knights need to be really slow moving, and
I don't have an opinion. I've never really leveled a Death Knight
do a ton
before.
of fucking damage. Frost Death Knights don't do that.
That's what I can do. Because I wasn't gonna make a new Wrath character until I've cycled through these two characters that I'm leveling right now. When I hit 55, 60, I'll make a Death Knight.
I think they're trash. I'm going to put a Frost DK at a C. I'm putting them at a fucking C. Arthas? Yeah, and Arthas got his ass beat. Now, Unholy Death Knights, I think, are way cooler than Frost Death Knights. I like how they spread diseases, they feel more unique, and they remind me of the original
Beer time, woman.
2 Death Knights. And you guys have to understand it. Warcraft 2 Death Knights are one of my favorite fucking elements.
Probably
of
smoke
lore.
time too. I'm waiting for these
all
fucking
black.
bots to get here. New rule for due to data caps, I'm ending my stream during smoke breaks. Frankly, even if I could afford the unlimited data, which I can, it doesn't make any sense to pay $30 when I can just slap some people around here and be like, hey, you need to watch less of this or pay your fair share of this, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't make any sense for me to do that, especially for $10 I get 50 more gigs. So it's like $30, you get 150 more gigs. Am I really going to even get to that point? No, of course not. It's retarded, to say the least. Anyway, I'll be back. Ending the stream. You know what? I always say I'll be back. And I'm never back. I never come back. The fuck is this hair part I got going here? What the fuck is that? What? Anyway, I always say I'll be back. I never come back. So you know what? I won't be back. Ever. In fact, I'm gonna delete my channel.